Alright, hello guys, welcome back to another video. So just when you thought it might be over, it's not. Because as of early this morning today, it looks like Kris Tyson's Discord logs have been released, and since I have been covering the whole situation, I just figured I would cover it. So yeah, as of 2 days ago, one of Kris Tyson's former mods, who goes by the name of Nate, had claimed that Kris Tyson preyed on them when they were 15 years old. This is where it all starts.
Kris Tyson from mrbeast used me, manipulated me, and did very inappropriate things with me while I was about 15 years old. I was actually friends with LavaGS at the time, who is the main victim of Kris that everyone has been talking about these last few days, who claims he isn't a victim, but we all know he is, and we all know he probably got paid off. Not only that, but he's also under an NDA from when he worked for mrbeast Gaming for 2 years, and he tried to get me to join mrbeast Gaming himself, Lava. He's the one who actually sent me the contract and tried to get me to sign the NDA, at which point I ended our friendship because I knew they were just trying to silence me. Me and him were both initially involved in running Kris's Discord server, helping him set up his Twitch streams and moderating them.
Nate's calling me. Hey, what's up? You're on stream.
You just leaked your address. Please end your stream. As well as other technical back-end things that he needed help with. This Discord server that we were a part of had about 10 people in it, most of whom were minors. I'm not sure how they got in there, other than me and Lava. He won a giveaway and Kris invited him after that, and Kris invited me after I saw one of his tweets asking for help setting up a Garry's Mod server for the 10 million subscriber mrbeast video. This turned into us having lots of private conversations with Kris and playing video games with him for hours on end. Not only did we do a lot of unpaid work for him that he promised he would pay us for, he would also frequently bring up sexual topics that was definitely not appropriate to bring up around 15, 16-year-olds, especially with him being like, I don't know, 20, 21 years old. He would even go as far as linking me several different corn and hentai videos throughout the time of me talking with him. Not only that, but he had an NSFW bot in his Discord server before he made it public. So when it was just a private server, his little circle of minors. And he would use this NSFW bot to spam different corn images, alongside all these 15-year-olds. He would also frequently call me dad and daddy, as well as the others, which I guess we all kind of just took as a joke at the time. You have to think this is someone who we looked up to at the time, we idolized, we thought was the coolest person in the world, so they couldn't really do any wrong in our eyes. But looking back, I was definitely uncomfortable at being called daddy by a 20-year-old. Even just thinking about it now, it's just uncomfortable. This server later went public and became his official Discord server, but before it did, he had me and Lava spend multiple days scrubbing this Discord server clean of all of the N-words he had sent in it, as well as his friends, as well as deleting the NSFW channels and making sure no one could see that he was spamming corn to minors. This story is so much bigger and runs so much deeper than any of you really realize, so if you want to hear more and you want a part 2, let me know.
Now, a little bit after this video came out and started blowing up, LavaGS came out to refute the claims and said this. Yes, I know him. A lot of the statements he made in that video about me are completely untrue. I was friends with him, we played games together and worked on the Discord. He was later removed from the Discord because of how unstable he was. He would lash out and verbally attack other members of the team. I never sent him any contract and I have never been under any NDA since 2022. I have not received any payment nor any of my socials monetized. I did inform him that he might be offered a job to help work in Minecraft videos around the time I was, but this never happened. We did not scrub the Discord clean of racist remarks or porn. We did convert the Discord from a private one to a public in a day. After it had been made public, this involved setting up moderation bots and channel permission. We also had never done unpaid work. At no point was there any agreement that we would be paid for anything we worked on. Nathan has since deleted his Discord messages between me and him. He also deleted his original Discord account. Now, a little bit later after this response, or more specifically as of yesterday, Nate put out another video with proof this time, because in the last video he didn't really show proof, and in this video specifically, the logs of Kris's Discord server that have been archived by another mod who goes by the name of Cookie have been exposed, and in the process might have proved that Lava was being dishonest.
This is part 2 to yesterday's video of me talking about Kris Tyson and what they did to me when I was 15 years old. This video has all the proof in it, all the receipts, and all the screenshots, thanks to an old friend of mine who was a moderator in Kris's Discord server at the time, Cookie. Now, Cookie actually went ahead and downloaded logs of all the individual channels on Kris's server before it went public, knowing that this was kind of being covered up, and he kept the logs of it for himself. He actually reached out to me here on Twitter, and I'm going to provide a lot of the screenshots backing up the claims that I made that Lava refuted. For example, I made a claim that there was an NSFW channel in the server where Kris would spam corn. Here you can see Kris talking about locking down the NSFW channel to True Gods and Anointed only. By the way, this is in 2019. I was a True God and I was a minor. Not only that, but you can see me right below it, Nathan.rtx, saying this is a bad idea. So even I knew as a kid that this was a really bad idea. Here is Lava himself talking about starting the commencement of cleaning the server, word for word. I said he was talking about scrubbing the server. He says that never happened. Here you can see him talking about it, as well as me and Cookie himself talking about it. I just want to make this video real quick, disproving some of the claims that Lava refuted and showing that they actually are true, but I actually have thousands of Discord messages to go through in these logs that I was just provided by Cookie. Shout out to him for giving me them, and I'm going to be going through them and posting an update video with some more proof.
A little bit later, after this video came out, the logs were released, and people started accusing Lava of being dishonest and lying. Lava put out a tweet at 8:30 this morning and said, based on the recent screenshots and messages, I would like to say a statement about the Discord. This was 5 or 6 years ago, and I thought I had a good memory of the situation, but I was wrong. After reading the chat logs, this stuff was inappropriate and wrong. I spoke based on my memory of the situation, and I still do not remember these conversations, but they definitely happened. These conversations should not have happened with people at the age I was at the time. I strongly condemn them. I still believe I am not a grooming victim, but these conversations should not have happened with me and any other minor in this Discord. I was a minor in this situation and not the adult influencer who shouldn't have allowed this to happen. I did not see this wrong at the time. And then Lava goes on to say, clarification. This is only related to the Discord server and not any other statements I have made regarding Ava Tyson. When referring to the situation, I am talking solely about the Discord server. I still stand by this. And then Lava attaches a tweet where he commends mrbeast for his actions that he took and the way that he handled the situation. Now, with this all being said, I wanted to go through some of the Discord logs. I mean, there are so many Discord logs. I have all of them. There are thousands upon thousands of them. So I'm going to do my best here, guys. If you would like to sift through these, I will be linking them down in the description. Now, without further ado, let's get into them. So just real quick, I wanted to clarify before we get into them actually. From everything that I have seen so far within these DMs, I have not really seen any signs of like grooming or pedophilia or any predation, but I will admit there were some inappropriate messages in here, and the way that they handled this server and the way that it was ran was definitely 100% unprofessional. And this is definitely something that I do believe that Kris should be held accountable for, as it was his server. Anyways, getting started here, we have messages from January 1st, 2019, in which somebody who goes by the name of Hayden says, I was given mod for suggesting a hen bot. Nathan says, LMAO, for real? Hayden replied and said, gave me God and just told me to add it myself. So for the people who are not aware on what God is and what they're referring to here, God actually happens to be a role that was in this server. It was actually, the full name of it was True Gods, and it was one above moderator. And if you guys know what an admin role is for, you know, a Discord server, that's essentially what that was, what that role was. Nathan replies and says, can get you places. Moving further in the logs, we're jumping to January 27th, 2019, and we first start off with a message from Kris that goes, gonna put the link to the Discord on my story, make sure NSFW is locked down to only gods and anointed lol. Nathan replies and says, bruh, this is a bad idea. Kris says, how lol? Nathan says, we gonna die. Bit of an overstatement there. Nathan says, I mean, it's a good idea, but a bad idea. I mean, yeah, I'm personally gonna bring in my own opinion here right now. You should not have an NSFW channel in a server full of minors. I'm sorry. Let alone that there have been references to Kris's addiction publicly on Twitter years ago when Lava and Kris were interacting on Twitter. I think it's just a really weird thing to have, even if regardless the Lava situation happened or not. And regardless if there's a wall on there that says like, you know, you must be 18 to be in here. Like, I just still think overall, in my opinion, it's a really bad idea. And we're gonna learn more about this in a bit. A little bit later in that same day at 1:02 p.m., that's when this user said, lock the thread too. Nathan replies within the DMs and says, what thread? Another member of the server comes in to clarify and says, NSFW, we did that. Nathan replies and says, how many fucking times do I have to say it's locked? LMAO. Jumping ahead to 10:58 p.m. on the same day, this Discord user asked the question, so what's the point of deleted channel chat for exactly? And then somebody responds and says, now going further, the following day, Chandler makes an appearance in the server, so this just confirms to us that Chandler was in the server. And I'm not saying that Chandler did anything bad because we don't have any proof of that, and Chandler, from what I have seen so far, has not really been too active in the server, but I just figured I would note this. Moving on, 26 minutes had gone by, and a member of the Discord server says this, and since you've joined, there's mysteriously been a NSFW channel. Just kidding, I have no idea who made it. There's been an NSFW channel since day one. Now that right there is really interesting. Continuing on, as you guys can see right here, there's somebody with a really interesting name, and they said, yeah, but this time there's no traps, LMAO. A little bit later, Nathan comes back on the chat and says, I made the NSFW channel, LMAO. Put that blame on me. Somebody asks, honestly, why though? Nathan says, because I was asked to. And then the server member asks, by? Nathan replies with Kris. This server member continues with, okay, I do think it's a bit inappropriate and should be limited to those who are actually of the appropriate age because it's open to everyone, is it not? In my opinion, there should be a bit more of a restriction on it. Now I'm going to interject here. So I'm not exactly sure if Discord had designated NSFW channels in 2019 or not. I really can't remember, but regardless of whether or not they had those kinds of channels, I still don't believe personally that you should have had this on your server and had underage people in it, as we're going to learn more about later. Now that's just my personal opinion, but let's continue. I don't have any issue with the channel. What I have an issue with are the minors that have access to said channel. I think that this is a pretty fair take. Kris says, is there even a way to do that? Somebody says, not really, no. Kris goes on to say, so what do we do, LOL? Remove it? Nathan responds and says, no, people like it. Even if there was a way anyone could lie about their age, LMFAO. Kris replies and says, yeah, true. And I mean, to be fair, the internet is full of that's a great argument. Not really. Discord says that if you can't regulate it, don't have one. Quote, it's the responsibility of the server owner to prevent minors from viewing graphic materials. Kris responds and says, what? Am I a parent? Lava jumps in here and says, I say we get rid of it because of the fan base. mrbeast and Kris are mostly under 18 at Kris. Somebody further mentions, well, I mean, at least make the channel locked to the mods. And then Discount Milk said, we're talking about it in VC. Hopping over to the next day, this would be January 29, 2019. A mod in the server said, all right, I purged the chat. Come on, guys, let's get along. No need to argue. We are all chosen with power. Even though you might not be friends, don't display it where everyone has to see it. I like all of you and hate to see everything fall apart. Here's the thing, the NSFW chat is definitely two-sided and I totally agree and see both sides. How about we come to a conclusion? I was also in a voice channel and Kris wants to keep it, which is totally understandable. Okay. I also have an idea to make the channel a little bit safer. How about we make a role called 18 plus and we manually give it to people we know is in age. This way we can all relax and not have to worry. Let me know what you guys think of this idea. Just react. Kris replies and said, it would be a lot of work, LOL, but I'm fine with it. Now, personally, and I'm coming back in with my opinion here, if you have underage minors as your moderators and you have Lava with the same role as Kris, which is pretty much like owner of the server, and you have, as far as I'm aware, underage true gods, at least one. I'm not sure if everybody here who is watching has Discord or runs a server, but if if you've ever ran a server before, you would know that like admins and moderators can see pretty much every channel in the server because they have the highest roles. Now, maybe it would be less for moderators, but if you're an admin of the server, you can see pretty much everything and adjust any setting that you would like to on any channel that is in the Discord. So how exactly is this 18+ role gonna work if the admins don't even need it to see the channel essentially? Because once again, admins have access to every permission and everything in the server. Just my thoughts. More than 2 hours later, we have a message from Discount Milk in which they said, since we age gated the NSFW channel, we need to demote any staff that isn't 18. I'm interjecting, 100% agree with that. Nathan replies and says, okay friend, calm yourself. Discount Milk says, it's only fair. Nathan says, that makes no goddamn sense. Sorry. Discount replies and says, what? Channel was age gated because children can see it. Nathan said, correct. Somebody who goes by the name of Shade says, if there's a like 12-year-old on staff, then yeah, sure, but why would there be? Nathan says, I agree with that. Discount Milk says, so you want staff to see because they're staff? Nathan says, I mean, staff is supposed to have access to all channels to moderate them. I'm interjecting. This is exactly what I said earlier. If you're an admin or a staff of a Discord server, you can see everything, every channel, and you have every permission. Continuing on, Discount Milk says, that's like policemen saying they're exempt from the law because they enforce it. Nathan says, ahem. Discount Milk says, can't let children view. That was the reasoning, correct? Nathan says, why are you acting like it was my idea? LMFAO. Discount says, no, I'm just arguing the logic behind it. If you're going to enforce it to one person, gotta enforce it to everyone. This definitely is a good point, and I also just wanted to say I don't think Nate should get any hate for this or for what he is saying here, because at the time he was underage. But this also brings up the question, well, Kris, why do you have underage staff, and why are they allowed to have access to an NSFW channel? Like, if you're gonna have an NSFW channel, don't have like admins be underage because they can see anything in that server. Like, okay, I guess it's one thing if you want to have an NSFW channel that's like hidden from everybody who happens to be underage, you know, it's something that is private and that's between you and other people who are of age, and you make sure you age verify. Like, that's totally fine. But what's going on here is you can't have mods or admins, especially not admins, that are underage and then have an NSFW channel. Now, moving a little bit forward to February 21st, 2019, Lava put in the chat a very interesting emoji. Now moving to April 3rd, 2019, Nathan says, at Kris, check Snap Dad. So yeah, it looks like this confirms to us that Nathan and Kris both had each other added on Snapchat. Fast forwards to November 30th, 2019, Nathan says, hey guys, just a little PSA, server just got shouted, which means there's a lot of young people in the server. Let's try not to talk about and shit in general chat, even if it's just messing around. Cookie, who was underage at the time just like Nathan, said K. Nathan replies and says, at least just for a bit till they get filtered out, lol. Cookie says, yeah. 2 hours later, Cookie says, by the way, I went and deleted every single time the N-word has been used, so that improves chances of partnership a lot, was said while it was a private server. We should do that with all banned words. Nathan goes on to say, let us know before you delete any kind of meme or shit because I want to archive it first. Cookie says, yeah, I didn't delete any of the messages with it since I just searched for it and did some looking in really old messages. I have no idea what they're referring to here, as these attachments appear to not be working anymore. And yeah, essentially this just looks like overall where they actually did a deep cleaning of the server, and it looks like it happened on November 30th of 2019. And then Lava comes on around 14 minutes later and says, commence the cleansing of the Discord. Search every kind of bad word in every known chat, delete every instance of it unless it's a bot log. So yeah, it looks like at this point where Lava is saying like commence the cleansing of the Discord, delete every kind of bad word, I'm pretty sure you could assume that, you know, if there are any N words that they come across, they're going to be deleting those. So I think that at this point in time, this is where people are starting to call Lava like a liar and dishonest, because in his original tweet he said, we did not scrub the Discord clean of racist remarks or porn, but I mean, based off of what we already went over, it seems like that's what they did. Now, actually, as of recording this video, it looks like we have another update from Lava in which he has gone ahead and said, I appreciate everyone taking this tweet as me talking about everything I have stated about Ava Tyson. It's not. This is only about the Discord logs, and the reason I spoke on my memory being bad is I have thousands of conversations in this Discord. I did not speak to Ava 24/7 even before the Discord server. We spoke a few times a week, and that's why I'm able to remember what actually happened between me and her. I still believe that the other allegations deserve to be investigated. I'm not defending the actions of Ava. Also, the Great Cleansing is not related to original cleaning the Discord statement Nathan made, and he knows that. The Great Cleansing was years after the server went public. We were talking about scrubbing any word that might be against TOS so we could get a Discord partnership. This includes words like boomer, and others. Below is more logs from that Discord confirming that. I still do not remember the NSFW channel stuff, but it's been proven to have existed from logs. And then as we can see right here, Lava provided some logs, the same logs that we started to go over. So yeah, with that being said, let's go over those. So as you guys can see, they're talking about cleaning up the Discord, and it does in fact look like they were trying to get rid of some slurs, and that's all I see so far. Now moving on to the last part of the video, and the more concerning part, is that Cookie, the underage mod that we talked about earlier, has posted some screenshots from Kris's private server, because Kris apparently had a private server that apparently was not open to everybody else, and in the server apparently they had various channel names that in my opinion are pretty questionable, let alone that at least Cookie, who was in the server when this was going down, was a minor at the time. One of these channels was called and it was an age-restricted channel. And on December 12th, 2019, based off of this date right here, and then going back, since this was a day before, Discount Milk decided to post some hentai. And then Kris is down here a day later at 2:45 p.m. saying sauce of the actual hentai. Discount Milk goes on to say, I am a degenerate, so I'll find out. And then as you guys can see right there, Cookie of Gods. Yes, the same Cookie that we were talking about before, who was underage when this was going down, was in this NSFW chat. And Kris happened to be in there too. Like, what is going on here? Like, sure, Kris wasn't the one who posted it, but Kris did nothing about this. And I'm not exactly sure, but this is another thing that should be brought up here. Did Kris know whether or not these people were of age? That's another question that I do believe should be brought up. And then somebody else in here is talking about how they want a slime girl hentai. And then it also looks like there was an anime channel. I'm not sure if this was in Kris's private Discord or if this was in Kris's public Discord, but happened to be a private channel. But Kris says here, make a chat called Server Secrets and give everyone active here right now perm to join. Now, I have been told that Pro Server Crasher is Cookie, and I mean, these screenshots were posted by Cookie, so I would like to assume that that is Cookie. Cookie says, fire up the hentai archives, kids, because Kris is really, I'm pretty sure they meant ready to fire up the lotion and get to yoinking. Other people respond, oof. Somebody else said hentai. Ooh woo. Cookie says, I'm gonna take a quick piss. This person says, I have so much I'm ready to post, LMAO. Kris says, we about to dump so many traps though. Worth it. I shouldn't have to tell you guys why this is questionable and why this shouldn't be happening ever in any case with any minors in the chat. But continuing, I can't really tell who this is, but they say, give me the go ahead so I don't get banned, LMAO. Cookie says, easy. Discount Milk says, Kris locked down to anime. Cookie says, hentai posting starts when? Kris says, okay everyone, this chat never happened. Griffin, purge it once this is done. Very questionable thing to say. Almost seems like you're trying to cover up something massive, something really bad. We can make a separate channel and delete it. Of course, nothing happened here. Kris says, not a bad idea. So yeah, it looks like that's all we have as of right now in terms of the logs from Kris's Discord server, at least what has been found. There are many people sifting through this right now, and if you would like to yourself to help us find more of this, be sure to check out the logs. They should be in the description. And yeah, from everything that I've seen, I'm gonna give my take on it right now. This was a very unprofessional Discord server. It had mods that were underage. It had admins that were underage. I don't know how many in specific, but I know that there was at least one. And the fact that underage people were participating in these channels and Kris tried covering this up, definitely not a good look. Does this really top the Shadman stuff? Not really, but I'm really happy that more of this really weird behavior is being exposed, and who knows what's going to become of this the more people look into these logs. Now with that all being said, I'm going to be wrapping up the video right there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I just wanted to state this again. I'm not saying that Kris is anything bad off of this. I'm not like accusing Kris of being like, you know, a pedo, or this makes Kris a groomer or something, or a predator. I'm not saying that because the last time I made a video covering the weird behavior that Kris was engaging in, people took my video and spun it off over on Twitter, saying that my video was trying to claim that Kris is a groomer or something when that was not the case. So for my own sake and the fact that I don't want misinformation being pushed, I just wanted to say I'm not accusing Kris of really anything here except for being weird, and that this definitely should not have happened. And this actually happens to be another thing that I think that Kris should address, but I highly doubt that's going to be happening. If you happen to enjoy the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because doing so will help promote the video more in the algorithm so that more people will see it. Thank you guys so much for being a member to the channel. Your support really means the world to me, and I really do appreciate it. My name is Breone, and I will see you in my next video. Peace!
Shit it all out.